Breakfast in Germany is terrible, and you can't change my mind. Fight about it in the comments. It's not necessarily that the breakfast itself is terrible, because I know that traditional German breakfast is just what we in America call a continental breakfast. It is what they serve at hotels. And by the way, it sucks in the US too. Continental breakfast is not very good. It's not worth the money you pay for. Yes, it is all you can eat, but quite honestly, at 9 in the morning, I don't want what I had for dinner last night, right? Continental breakfast is exactly what you had for Abendbrot. It's bread, it's Wurst, it's other meats, it's pickles, it's marmalade, spreads. Like, the ingredients are not bad, but it's just not what I want first thing in the morning, especially when it's what I had for dinner last night. In New York City, the most common breakfast is the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, or possibly a bagel with cream cheese, a bagel with schmear, a bagel with lachs and onions and capers. Like, there are we eat breakfast sandwiches, and I cannot find breakfast sandwiches in Germany. And before I hear you in the comments, I can get a bacon, egg, and cheese in Berlin. Yeah, I don't live in Berlin. I live near some cows. I live in Saxony, and not even in a city. I live in a village in Saxony. And before I lived in a village, I lived in a town-sized town that didn't have breakfast options, but we'll get back to that. What we eat when we're on the go in New York City is a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich. We eat breakfast sandwiches, and you just don't have them here, okay? That's the first, you go to the bodega, the man makes the sandwich, he wraps it up in tinfoil, and then he hands it to you and you eat it while you're waiting for your train on the platform. That is New York City culture in a nutshell. On the weekend, you go to brunch, and it's from basically 9 in the morning till 4 p.m. It's lunch, it's breakfast, it's your pancakes, your French toast, your eggs Benedict. It's hot, it's fresh, it's brought to you on a beautiful white plate, and there are napkins, and you don't have to do the dishes. You get this beautiful meal, and you don't have to do the dishes. And you're there with friends. You're there with family. You're there with the person you slept with last night. It's just relaxing. And breakfast culture in Germany is one of those things that I don't find relaxing, because it's a continental breakfast. First of all, you have to find a place that serves breakfast. And yes, again, if you live in a city, you can probably find breakfast wherever you go. I do not live in a city. When I lived in the town, there was a cafe. There is a cafe that serves breakfast maybe 6 times a year. There was a restaurant that served Sunday breakfast from 8 a.m. till 11 a.m., but not outside of that time. So if you got up late, you wanted a little lion, and you didn't want to walk all the way down to the restaurant, super early, no breakfast for you. And so, yeah, breakfast is hard to find at a restaurant here. And there are very few places that do it openly. And when they do, I don't like it. It's not my cup of tea. And by the way, the tea is bad. All of the tea is bad at restaurants. The tea is not good in Germany. It's terrible. I've found some good teas to drink at home, but every time I go and I oh, let's have Kaffee and Kuchen, I'm ordering hot chocolate because the tea is bad. Or if I order the tea, it's because I really need the caffeine, and it's the only thing I can think of, or something. The tea is bad. So going out for breakfast is a disappointment. I spend $17.50 on this all-you-can-eat buffet that includes either a mimosa or an orange juice or a coffee. You get one drink for free. And then the food, let's put it this way. If I wanted to eat continental breakfast, I would go to my mother-in-law's house, where she would give us a continental breakfast, because that's what she eats for breakfast every single morning. And it would be lovely, and we would get to spend time with my lovely mother-in-law, and we would be in the mountains, and we wouldn't spend $17.50 on it. Okay? All right? I come from Long Island. On Long Island, we have diners, and in diners, they have breakfast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And for breakfast, you can get whatever you want. Seriously, if it's not on the menu at a diner, you can probably ask them for it. They can probably do it for you. Diners are amazing. Diners are the best thing. They are the best places, and there's no diners in Germany. Yes, yes, I do know about the American Diner in Chemnitz, and yes, I have eaten there, and I will probably make a video about it because it is an experience. It's not bad. I do have fun at American restaurants. Okay, anyway, moving on. I feel like continental breakfast is missing something. It's missing hot food. That's the first thing. Overcooked scrambled eggs in a chafing dish, that does not count as hot food. It's missing hot food. It's missing bacon, which yes, you can get bacon here. And sometimes they do, okay, fairness, I have seen bacon on continental breakfast situation. Not very much of it, and it's always floppy, but it does exist. And for those of you in Germany watching this and you're going, oh, bacon, I get bacon all the time. My butcher carries it. The bacon they have in the grocery store, garbage. It's like paper thin, it burns immediately. Don't get that. Go to your butcher. Ask them if they have geräucherte Bauchspeck. One more time, geräucherte Bauchspeck. Not all butchers carry it, but enough do. It's there. They have it. It exists. What doesn't exist, though, back to why German breakfast is missing things. German breakfast is missing hash browns. That's a food you never thought that would not be on a breakfast menu if you're an American. There are no hash browns in Germany. I went to a McDonald's for breakfast. I was going to another city really early in the morning for a job interview. Got to that city, I want hash browns. I want grease. I want potatoes. Give me crispy potatoes, please. So I went and I was looking for it. I'm looking at the menu. No hash browns. So I go across the way and Burger King, because I really love Burger King hash browns. They're the best. No hash browns. And I'm like, what is this? This country loves potatoes. Why are there no hash browns? My then boyfriend, now husband, was like, yeah, we don't eat potatoes for breakfast. And I was like, I'm sorry, what?
What do you mean you don't eat
potatoes for breakfast? Yeah, that's not a breakfast food. What? And eventually I came to learn about Bauernfrühstück, which is hash browns and an omelet, but it's a lunch food. It's not really a breakfast food, despite being called Bauernfrühstück. Breakfast. I also learned about Bratkartoffeln, which is the hash browns. The hash browns are Bratkartoffeln. Again, it's something we eat for lunch. We don't eat it in the morning. I'm recording. I'm in the middle of a rant. The singing? How'd I sound?
Did you get a reciprocal branch cutter? The one from Lux with the blue handles. That's what I was saying. I think it would be weird for someone, it's a weird thing for someone to steal. See, I told you it's a weird thing.
So it is 3 weeks since I shot the footage from before, and because I took my time editing that video, because I like to edit curled up on the couch, I like to do all my work curled up on the sofa with a blanket and a cat, and unfortunately my big screen is in my office where it is cold and there are no blankets and no cat. The no cats is nice when you're actually trying to get work done, but it's not nice for the part of me that feels sad and lonely when they are alone in a room with no one to talk to. There have been some developments. I still hate continental breakfast. That hasn't changed. I do not want to be served cold cuts in the morning. Just don't. My husband would like to make sure that everyone knows that continental breakfast also includes pastries and sweet things. He thinks that savory breakfast is unnatural and wrong, and he's allowed to be wrong. That's okay. I'll allow that. He's allowed to have his opinion. It's allowed to be incorrect. Second development is that I have found the second development is that I have found a company in Berlin that makes bagels and then delivers them all over the country the very next day. So I'm very, very excited to try that. And
I'm so excited for bagels. So bagels.
I will let everyone know how that goes. And finally, the third thing is that some of our very best friends came over for breakfast on Saturday, and it helped diffuse some of my frustration, because this rant was never really about breakfast. I mean, I hate continental breakfast and I really miss hash browns, really, really miss hash browns. Ultimately, it's not about the food. It's that the differences in breakfast culture are a stand-in for how life changes and what was and what is and what might be and what never will be. And sometimes that's not super comfortable to look in the face. Like many immigrants that complain seemingly incessantly about their new homes, it's not really about the thing. It's about what the thing is not. And that doesn't mean that the thing we miss is better. Like in our eyes, yeah, it's better because we miss it, but it's not meant to put down the culture that we live in. And I want to make that clear because it is actually really important to me. And yes, you can fight with me in the comments about how much you love Wurst, but like the truth is I love living in Germany. I have vast respect for the culture and the traditions here. So I just want to make it known that even though I'm willing to fight with you about how much I hate cold breakfast, it's not that I don't respect you. It's that you don't serve hash browns and I really want some hash browns. As you might have guessed from earlier in the video, Sunday brunch was always a bit of a ritual. Growing up, my family and I would have bagels or egg sandwiches from the little shop down the block almost every weekend. Like sometimes it was on Saturday, sometimes it was on Sunday, sometimes it was before church, sometimes it was after church. Then when I got older, like when I became independent, it was brunch with my friend. And for the last year before I moved to Germany, my mother, my sister, and I, all as adults, obviously, an independent people, we all lived in the same apartment building. And almost every weekend, we would go down to the little local diner and have brunch together. This rant was never about what breakfast in Germany lacks, but what my breakfast lacks. Jesus, I tried to make this like a funny ranty video and here I am getting all like sad and maudlin and trying not to cry. Jesus Christ, oh my God. Anyway, so thanks for coming for my little personal therapy session. Tune in next time for either a cute tour of the countryside that I live in or possibly a tour of my house and a discussion about moving in and some of that stuff. Or I don't know how much of that I'll cover because there's stuff going on, but I'll try. I do have a bunch of projects in the works right now, so as long as I force myself to edit at my desk where I have a very large monitor, I will be able to edit quickly and get videos out relatively quickly, as opposed to editing on my couch where the screen is small and things are a little bit more annoying to deal with. So hopefully there will be a video within the next 2 weeks, and I hope to see you back here soon. Ooh, that feels so weird to say.